Good morning, friends. This is Coach Powers, and today I wanted to discuss something that often surprises people in recovery, which I call the returning bear phase. Now, I've written a book on this called The 15 Phases of Withdrawal and Recovery, and this is one of the phases. If you've been working hard in your recovery, you've been building resilience, you're learning mindfulness, practice acceptance, you're learning to change your relationship with fear, and maybe you've been making some real steady progress. It can feel like a punch to the gut when fear and anxiety suddenly surge back with a vengeance. This particularly happens to us once we are off the medication. There's always this threat that the bear is returning, that we will snowball backwards and collapse. It's important to understand what this is and what it isn't. First, what is the returning bear phase? The returning bear phase is when fear or anxiety resurfaces after a period of stability and reactivates our trauma response. It can feel overwhelming, as if you've lost all the progress you've made. Your mind may start spinning with thoughts like, am I broken? Is this permanent? Did I mess something up? But here's the truth. The returning bear is not a setback. It's a natural and expected part of recovery. In fact, it's often a sign that your nervous system is still recalibrating, rewiring old circuits, adjusting to new patterns, and learning to handle stress in healthier ways. Other times, it may just be a flare-up caused by something, such as doing too much too soon, outside stressors from life. Your brain may reboot, so to speak, old pathways temporarily, and that's when the bear shows up again. It's not proof that you're back at square one. It's proof that your system is still in motion, adapting and healing. Now, what isn't the returning bear? Well, the returning bear isn't a sign that you're permanently damaged. It isn't proof that your recovery plan has failed. And it definitely isn't an excuse to panic and abandon your progress. What you're feeling is your brain's natural safety system flaring up, a false alarm that feels real but isn't. So why does this happen? The returning bear thrives on what psychologists call the fear of fear. When you experience fear, your mind races to make sense of it. The brain starts to look for danger where there is none. And the more you worry about fear itself, the more you panic about panic. The stronger the fear becomes, in other words. This is why traditional CBT methods like self-talk, while helpful for managing anxiety, often fail to calm a full-blown panic response. Once you've entered panic mode, the mind isn't listening to logic. It's running purely on survival instinct. So what can we do? This is where radical acceptance, ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy, and Zen practices become powerful tools. Unlike CBT techniques that try to talk down the panic, these approaches teach you to stop fighting the fear altogether. Here's how they work. Number 1, radical acceptance. Stop resisting the fear. When fear rises, our instinct is to resist, to push it away, to suppress it, or distract ourselves from it. But resistance gives the bear more power. Radical acceptance invites us to do the opposite, to allow the fear to exist without judgment. Instead of saying, I have to get rid of this feeling, try saying, I see you, I know you, come sit with me. Doing this breaks the cycle of resistance and creates space for the anxiety to settle down on its own. Number 2, ACT, also known as acceptance and commitment therapy. Making room for discomfort. ACT teaches us to treat fear like an annoying passenger in your car. It's there, but it doesn't get to grab the wheel, right? When the returning bear shows up, acknowledge it without engagement. Ah, there's that fear again. Thank you for trying to protect me, but I've got this. Then gently shift your focus back to what matters, your values, your goals, your recovery work. Don't let the bear dictate your actions. And finally, number 3, Zen practices, becoming the observer. Zen practices teaches us to step back and watch our emotions without becoming tangled in them. Imagine your anxious thoughts like leaves floating down a river. They pass through, but you don't have to pick them up. When the bear returns, sit quietly and observe. Notice your breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Watch the anxiety rise without reacting to it. Tell yourself, this is temporary. I can allow this. The more you allow anxiety to exist without trying to fix it, the more you retrain your brain to respond with calm instead of panic. Now here's the takeaway. The returning bear isn't a step backward. It's a powerful opportunity to train your nervous system in a new way. Each time you face the bear without fear, you weaken its grip and you grow stronger. This is not failure. It's progress in disguise. So the next time the bear shows up, remember, you faced it before and you've already proven you can survive it. The real victory isn't in defeating the bear. It's in learning to greet it calmly, knowing that it will leave sooner if you just simply let it be. All right, my friends, just some thoughts on the returning bear phase. Keep your head up, you're healing, and you will make a full recovery. Until next time, keep going. Hey everyone, I'm Coach Powers and I'm excited to announce the launch of my new online Benzo Recovery School. The school launched with Module 1 and will have a total of 4 modules, each module with a dozen or more video lessons. Here are some contents in Module 1. This creates the basis for my recovery program. If you know anything about my approach to benzo recovery, you know I'm a bit different than other benzo coaches in that I do not subscribe to the lay and pray model of recovery. Instead, I believe benzo injury is a kind of neurological injury that requires neurological rehabilitation. This neurological rehabilitation encompasses learning how to access our good chemistry while also reducing the so-called bad chemistry, cortisol and adrenaline, and also learning how to lull down our hypervigilant limbic system. This includes learning techniques in CBT, DBT, mindfulness therapy, and neuroplasticity building. Now, I've studied clinical psychology for the last 15 years of my life, and my benzo recovery program encompasses the same things that I use to make my own recovery after a 10-year, 40 milligram Valium dependence. My recovery program observes 4 stages of recovery with 3 tiers of development. In fact, my stages are all focused on development. This makes them different than the 3 obvious stages of recovery, which include the pre-taper, the taper, and post-taper. Instead, my stages serve as a kind of developmental roadmap, with each stage serving as a bridge to the following stage. These 4 stages include Stage 1, Restoring Hope, Stage 2, The New Beginning, Stage 3, The Montage, and Stage 4, Coming Home. Perhaps most importantly, each stage has 3 key learning goals and also 3 key roadblocks. These stages revealed themselves to me after years of working with literally thousands of people from all around the world. After enough experience, you begin to see patterns and trends, and you see where people triumph and what roadblocks can prevent them from moving forward. Now remember, just because you may have come off your benzo doesn't mean you automatically reach Stage 4, the final stage. Again, these are developmental stages, which is why someone can come off of their benzo and still be stuck in their recovery. In fact, it's entirely possible to come off of your benzo and be stuck in Stage 1. Here are some other features the online Benzo Recovery School offers. Aside from being a school, it's also a positive focused support group. And believe me when I tell you, my students are a different breed of benzo warriors. They are wise, they are driven, and they understand the mission. I, Coach Powers, will also be doing live video Q&A weekly in the community, talking, teaching, and answering questions from all of you. There will be downloadable resources such as a rumination and exposure therapy log, templates for checklists, and much more. Additionally, there will be new benzo sleep affirmation videos exclusive for the school, as well as new and early original content. There will be a regular benzo blog, benzo-related news, and even a private early screening for my benzo recovery feature film, Lake of Fire. All of this and only for a special introductory rate of $30 monthly while time lasts. So come join the positive community and let's work together on facilitating our recovery. See you there.